Nigga, we on worldwide television. Can you fight this nigga talking mad shit, man?
No, because you're a piece of shit.
I, Jake Joseph Paul, will knock out, defeat, and embarrass Anthony Joshua.
In his second fight at heavyweight against a bona fide knockout artist.
The night everything changed started with Mike Tyson storming toward Jake Paul after one of the most devastating fights boxing fans had ever witnessed. The chaos that followed Anthony Joshua's complete destruction of Paul left everyone speechless. Paul's jaw was obliterated, his swagger completely gone, and his reputation hanging by a thread. The crowd couldn't believe what they were seeing as Tyson launched into a verbal assault that would finish what Joshua started in the ring.
Down to the body with the right hand for Anthony Joshua. There's a big left now.
December 19th, 2025 became the date that exposed everything fake about Jake Paul's career. When Anthony Joshua stepped through those ropes, Paul thought he was facing just another opponent. Instead, he met the brutal reality of elite-level boxing. The beating was so severe that Paul's jaw got completely destroyed, maybe both sides, and his confidence evaporated with every crushing blow. Fans sat in complete shock, not just from the violence, but from watching years of trash talk meet the unforgiving truth of professional boxing. Paul had been running his mouth for years, building this whole persona around beating up retired fighters and claiming he could handle anyone. All those social media posts, all that trolling, all those threats directed at real champions like Joshua and Tyson, none of it mattered when the bell rang. The foundation of his entire boxing identity cracked under pressure, and what happened next would expose just how shallow his skills really were.
It really is. Oh, the uppercut, and he took it! Jake Paul took it!
Jake Paul's whole identity revolved around being this fearless trash talker who could back up every word. His Instagram was flooded with videos of him calling out legends, promising to destroy anyone who stepped up. The promotional tours were just Paul running his mouth, making threats, and acting like he owned boxing. He genuinely believed his own hype, convinced that his mouth could carry him through any fight.
Oh, the right hand right! Oh!
Even if he does land his best shot at the moment, not that much is going to happen.
This false confidence had one main source. That questionable victory over Mike Tyson back in November 2024 became Paul's go-to proof whenever anyone doubted him. He'd wave that win around like a golden ticket, telling everyone that beating Iron Mike meant he belonged with the elite. That single fight became his entire argument for why he deserved respect in boxing. Hills often told a very different story.
No one's done more for the sport of boxing in the past decade than myself, so I think if people really cared about boxing, they'd want me to win, but...
So when December 19th arrived and Anthony Joshua entered that ring, everything shifted immediately. From the opening bell, Joshua showed everyone what real championship boxing looks like. This wasn't about entertainment or social media buzz. This was about skill, power, and the kind of heart you can't fake. Round after round, Joshua systematically broke Paul down. The damage was horrific. Paul's face became a mess, his jaw completely shattered, possibly on both sides. Every punch reminded the world that champions don't just talk, they deliver devastating consequences. Paul's confident smirks turned into expressions of pure terror and agony. All those months of bragging, all those promises of victory, none of it prepared him for this level of punishment. A legend.
After Anthony Joshua defeated Jake Paul tonight by knockout, Jake claimed that his jaw was fractured on this hard punch. In this video, we'll take a closer look.
Former two-time world champion.
The energy in that arena was absolutely electric. Joshua's supporters roared with every crushing blow, finally seeing Paul get what many felt he deserved. Social media went completely insane as videos of Paul getting demolished started spreading everywhere. The difference between his pre-fight arrogance and what was happening in real time was absolutely stunning. This wasn't just another loss on someone's record. This was the complete dismantling of a carefully crafted image. The night where fake confidence met genuine skill and got completely obliterated. Paul's limitations were being broadcast to the world in the most humiliating way imaginable. Then Mike Tyson appeared, and the real destruction began. Having already fought Paul and seen exactly what he was capable of, Tyson arrived ready to deliver the final blow to Paul's credibility. The verbal beatdown that followed was absolutely savage. Paul tried making excuses, blaming strategy, referencing past victories, but Tyson demolished every single word. This was the moment Paul's public image didn't just crack, it completely shattered, leaving the boxing world with undeniable proof that he was all mouth and no substance.
Messages are lighting up. Everyone wondering what the hell is happening. And Joshua continues to chop down Paul. Joshua, the Predator, counter right. There's the right hand.
I'm a very respectful guy, brought up by a good family, but if I can kill you, I will kill you. That's just how I am.
Mike Tyson didn't casually walk into that arena after Joshua's victory. He charged in like a man possessed, completely transforming the atmosphere. Everyone who had just watched Paul's jaw get demolished suddenly realized they were about to witness something even more brutal. Tyson's rage was unmistakable, his presence commanding absolute attention. When he got close to Paul, the tension became suffocating.
And it almost demolished. There's a left hook.
This wasn't going to be some polite conversation between fighters. Tyson positioned himself right in Paul's face and unleashed pure verbal warfare. The words cut deeper than Joshua's punches had moments earlier. What made this assault so devastating was Tyson's unquestionable authority. This wasn't some keyboard warrior or jealous competitor throwing insults. Tyson had actually fought Paul, experienced his power firsthand, and lived through rounds with him. When Iron Mike spoke, every syllable carried the weight of legitimate experience. He didn't need to prove anything to anyone. His legacy spoke for itself. Paul, who had built his entire brand on talking trash and mocking legends, suddenly looked completely exposed. His desperate attempts at explanation fell flat against Tyson's relentless verbal assault.
He looked angry up there. I've never seen him look so fired up. He was giving it the throat slashing gestures. He wants to hurt Jake Paul.
The crowd's response was absolutely incredible. Some people stood frozen in complete disbelief while others erupted in celebration, finally seeing Paul get verbally destroyed by someone who couldn't be intimidated or dismissed. Every camera captured Paul's desperate attempts to defend himself, and the audience could feel the complete collapse happening in real time. This went beyond simple trash talk. This was a public execution of Paul's credibility. Social media platforms crashed from the volume of people sharing clips of Tyson's verbal destruction, with trending topics exploding across every platform instantly, apart in front of the world.
Respectfully, that's just the mentality we have to have as fighters. I don't know if any other fighter thinks that way. Maybe they're a bit more tamed, but the things I watch and the way my mind works, when you're in that ring, it's a dangerous place to be and anything can happen. You hope your opponent leaves the ring safely, but if they don't, you still have to go to bed at night knowing that you just done your job. It wasn't personal.
Paul's breakdown was total and devastating. Standing there bloodied and humiliated, he had absolutely no defense left. Every confident post he'd ever made, every video where he'd taunted real fighters, every viral moment where he'd claimed superiority over legends, it all crumbled instantly. His standard excuses meant absolutely nothing now. Tyson's verbal assault combined with Joshua's physical domination left Paul completely naked, exposed as someone who could generate noise but couldn't handle real competition. The psychological damage was enormous. His entire online personality built on arrogance and manufactured drama was instantly revealed as fake. Critics and fans had unlimited material to work with, endlessly replaying his collapse and celebrating the downfall of someone who had relied on his mouth instead of his fists.
Also, I was thinking too, maybe Tank isn't used to being the B-side.
Other boxing legends joined the destruction immediately. Champions like Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury delivered their own brutal assessments. Their judgment was crystal clear and unforgiving. Paul could create hype and generate attention, but he couldn't perform like a legitimate boxer when it actually mattered. Anthony Joshua didn't even need to participate in the verbal assault. His quiet confidence said everything that needed saying. He had just systematically destroyed Paul in the ring, and now he was watching the supposed future of boxing completely implode in front of everyone. Tyson's personal history with Paul made his verbal destruction even more legitimate. When a legend with Tyson's credentials calls someone out publicly, there's no possible counter-argument. The entire boxing community reached the same conclusion simultaneously. Jake Paul's reputation as a serious fighter was officially finished. He had become nothing more than entertainment, a sideshow whose words had always been bigger than his abilities.
The odds are high because Anthony Joshua is out there saying that he's gonna kill.
This night delivered lessons that extended far beyond the fights themselves. Social media followers, manufactured hype, and endless trash talk can never substitute for genuine skill, real heart, or disciplined training. Jake Paul's empire built on bragging, trolling, and self-promotion completely collapsed when it met the harsh reality of championship-level boxing. Tyson's involvement became deeply symbolic. He represented pure truth, demonstrating that artificial hype cannot survive against legitimate competition. December 19th, 2025 transcended being just another fight night. It became a defining moment of accountability. The evening where Jake Paul's legacy built entirely on noise got completely destroyed in the most public way imaginable. When the lights finally dimmed and everyone went home, the message couldn't have been clearer. Paul could generate attention, sell pay-per-views, create promotional buzz, and rack up social media views. But when the spotlight was brightest, the crowd was watching, and real punches were being thrown. He couldn't compete like a genuine champion. Tyson's verbal annihilation combined with Joshua's physical dominance eliminated any remaining doubt. Words without substance are meaningless, and fame without genuine ability will always crumble when tested. Paul's story, at least this chapter of it, stands as a permanent reminder about the dangers of arrogance, the limits of manufactured confidence, and what happens when hype meets reality.